Is he gonna do it? Oh, he's going for the backflip. Oh my gosh. Can he stick the landing? Ooh.
Ouch.
He's gonna feel that tomorrow. Gay furry hackers. Gay furry hackers. Gay furry hackers. They're back. They're here again, and they've attacked a thing that I've actually been wanting to talk about in a video for quite a long time. Project 2025. Some of you might have heard about it before, and it's kind of a story packaged inside of a story regarding a hacking group, a gay furry hacking group that I've made 2 videos on in the past for other various hacking endeavors that they've gone on, hacking news breaks. There was one about how they hacked a nuclear power plant in Idaho that was talking about how, like, hey, if you don't make real cat girls, we're gonna release your data. Why'd you do that? But then the other one they did was a hack against a far-right extremist media outlet called Real America's Voice, releasing user data regarding some of the main higher-ups in that group being somewhat kind of, I don't know, maybe sort of criminals, like having criminal records, doing crimes like criminals do, which isn't a great look, arguably. To be fair, so is hacking's also a crime, but regardless, they're back again, and they hit one of the biggest projects that almost no one knows enough about right now. So I wanted to inform the general public as well as talk about SeigedSec, this gay furry hacking group, and what they've done to this group. And this all started when I received the notification in the Video Ideas channel on my Discord from Casey a few days ago, talking about how the gay furry hackers have struck yet again, baby, and they attacked Project 2025, which, before we go any farther into the story about the hackers, I want to inform you all about what Project 2025 is. I first saw this article talking about how they want to fight to inform the public, and I myself want to inform the public as well. So we're going to dig into the Heritage Foundation and what they believe, what their plan is, and what they're going to be doing in the future. Because Project 2025, I don't know if you realize, it's in reference to the year 2025, the year that comes after 2024, which is the year we're currently residing in. Anyways, they had a little about me, a little description like a Twitch streamer, which I think is so cute, and I wanted to give it a quick read, talking about how the project is the effort of a broad coalition of conservative organizations that have come together to ensure a successful administration begins in January 2025. With the right conservative policy recommendations and properly vetted and trained personnel to implement them, we will take back our government. That's a weird wording. That's interesting. That's interesting wording. That's a wording that I would be weird to hear from someone who would surely take the government in a legal way, correct? Right? Anyway, so this builds off the Heritage Foundation's mandate for leadership, which has been highly influential for presidential administration since the Reagan era. That's good, the Reagan era. Yes, of course, the Reagan era. He did great things, like how, trickle-down economics. It's trickling down. The money's trickling down. I can see it. I can see it trickling down. It'll be down here immediately, eventually, soon, maybe. Hopefully, please. Then there was one other little note that I thought was important, talking about how Paul Dance, the former chief of staff at the Office of Personnel Management during the Trump administration, serves as the director for 2025's Presidential Transition Project, which is what Project 2025 is. It's a transition project for how they want to change the government up, how they want to make things different for everyone. And I, of course, love a little bit of remodeling, a little new vibes for the place, new wallpaper, maybe get some new couches in the White House, but that's not what they want. I saw an article from Forbes breaking down all the various changes that this government operation is going to bring, and I wanted to read a few of them for you guys and let you guys build your own opinions on them. So, starting with personnel, Project 2025 broadly proposes the insert far more political appointees who are ideologically aligned with the president into the executive branch, replacing many of the nonpartisan career civil servants who serve it now. Checks and balances who? Checks and balances regardless. Federal agencies. It proposes to scale down federal government, including abolishment of multiple agencies, including the Department of Education, Department of Homeland Security, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, and Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And it plans to fold a lot of them into each other or privatize them because they need to make more money. They need to have more incentive to be capitalistic. They can't be good for the people. We need growth. We need expansive growth, continuous growth, or we'll die. We'll explode. But regardless, they also have some ideas for transgender rights and LGBTQ rights, saying that they want to take as many steps to reinstate the ban on transgender Americans serving in the military, prohibiting public school educators from referring to students by anything other than their birth name and pronouns without parental permission, and ensuring no federal funds are used to provide gender-affirming care, because why would we want the general public to be comfortable? That's weird. They don't like that. They also want to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs throughout the federal government and in universities. I find that one kind of weird. In universities, I feel like colleges should be able to do what they want. There's far-right colleges, there's far-left colleges. I mean, it is kind of, whatever. It doesn't matter. And I think that's just a weird thing for the government to impose. I feel like that kind of impedes on the freedom part of the freedom in America. But regardless, climate change, because, you know, climate change, how the hottest summer on record we're currently experiencing, it's not real, though. It's not real, and there's no climate change. And they want to enforce that with proposal to undo as much federal government climate work, including leaving the Paris Climate Agreement, overhauling the Department of Energy to promote oil and natural gas, and de-emphasize green energy sources, because I want the planet to explode, and I need as much money as possible for my oil companies, so I have a reason to blow up more countries. I need more oil. I need it now. And, of course, to continue onwards, abortion. Taking as many steps to restrict the procedure, including directing the Food and Drug Administration to revoke its approval of abortion drug mifepristone, that one, using the Comstock Act to block any abortion equipment or medication from being mailed, which abortion rights advocates have said have been a backdoor and a way to ban abortion. Essentially like a first step, then they add more steps on to eventually just make it impossible overall. Of course, with education, they want to emphasize a school choice policy that directs public funds to be used for students to attend private or religious schools, and bars critical race theory from being taught in federally funded schools, and advocates for legislation that would allow parents to sue schools they feel have acted improperly, which is so great. I love when we have this perfectly aligning with ideas like in Florida, when they say that African Americans benefited from slavery. They liked it. They really did. It was a good thing. We want to teach that more in America. They had a good time back then. But let's move onwards. With student loans, student loan relief efforts would come to an end, including the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program and income-driven repayment plans, despite having $1.77 trillion in national student loan debt. Oh, yay! Big tech, next. TikTok will be banned, of course, that makes sense. And they propose calls for reforming Section 230, which shields tech companies and social media networks from being sued over the content on their platforms. That's weird. So you want to protect big tech companies, but not TikTok though. Because those liberaloids are on there. Those freaks. They're talking about how Trump bad. No, nuh-uh. Not fair. But regardless, now we have the Justice Department, a top-to-bottom overhaul of the DOJ and FBI that gets rid of what it calls an unaccountable bureaucratic managerial class, the radical left ideologues, okay, and proposes an agency that be far more focused on violent crime and filing litigation that is consistent with the president's agenda. Okay. Oh, wow. That's cool. Oh, so his own task force. That sounds legal and normal. Taxes. Project 2025 would seek to get rid of current tax rates and most deductions and credits, including proposing a 15% rate for anyone under Social Security wage base and 30% for taxpayers earning more than that, which means the lowest income taxpayers will now have to pay more and some higher earners will pay less. And of course, corporate tax will be set to 18% because companies are clearly not making enough money. We don't have enough money going to corporations. They're going under. They're all suffering so much, and the people are doing fine. So we need to take more money from the smaller Americans. The rich people are losing money. I need money. But talking of money, the Federal Reserve, which we're going to be taking monetary steering wheel out of its hands and returning it to the people, which the authors propose could be done by getting rid of the government's control over the nation's money entirely, instead leaving it up to the banks or returning to the gold standard, which means that the dollar's value will be tied to a specific weight of gold, which honestly, I think that could help inflation. I don't know enough about that. There could be some nefarious thoughts going on behind the scenes, but that sounds fine. Aside from the whole banks get to decide the value of money, because, you know, banks have shown a really good past in not wanting to squeeze as much money as possible out of people. So that sounds like a really good call. But moving onwards, foreign relations. Project 2025 opposing China, which of course they don't like China, which describes as a totalitarian enemy of the United States, which of course the United States being not totalitarian at all, directs the U.S. to pull out of international organizations when they don't serve the administration's interests, including the World Health Organization, of course. Yeah, we hate health, and the various United Nations agencies. So we're just becoming the bad guy. We're just like, let's square up on literally everyone at the same time because we wanna. And the last one being healthcare. Project 2025 does not seek to overturn the Affordable Care Act, but it would make significant, oh my god, that word's really hard apparently, significant cuts to Medicaid and impose work requirements to receive coverage. So essentially being like, if you can't get a job, if you're not in a job right now, you don't get healthcare, I think. I don't know. I'm not getting, you guys can look up and figure that out. That just seems like what they're kind of emphasizing there. And you could probably argue that's quite an obscene and extreme move to try and make as your first year as president in 2025, and Trump feels the same way. He's actually outwardly said that some of these conservative group ideas are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. And even some pro-Trump groups have said that they want to be removed from Project 2025's advisory board because it's so extreme, and they don't want to be associated with it, which is kind of strange when you learn about what SeigedSec discovered. See, this furry hacking group, we're back to it again, by the way, sorry, it took me a few minutes, had recently hacked into the Heritage Foundation and found a lot of information regarding a lot of the people who were associated with the project, especially since, despite Trump saying that it's extreme and a bit absurd and he doesn't want to align with it, 80% of his staff, our Trump aides and advisors, are associated with Project 2025. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? I wish I knew who they were. I wish I knew who these very specific names were. Oh no, is that all of the names and their associations with Trump, despite being in Project 2025's advisory board? That's strange. That's weird. We have people like Paul Winfrey, the deputy assistant to the president, who's associated with Project 2025. Chief of staff, Mandy M. That's a last name. Also associated with Project 2025, that absurd situation, the too extreme for even Donald. Well, then why is all of your staff in it? See, I think Project 2025 as a whole has thrived in darkness. It's thrived in the whole idea that not enough people know about it. So when eventually Trump comes into power, because I mean, to be fair, like, his opponent is literally a withering zombie. He is a zombie from Call of Duty. And so when he eventually tries to come into power, there's a lot of things he's going to try and enact. And I think him trying to distance himself from it, despite having all this stuff in it, has been just another way of trying to forward keeping it in the dark, keeping it unnoticed. Because why would he ever want to associate himself with something that extreme when it could kill a lot of the support for people who could possibly vote for him? And of course, the Heritage Foundation isn't going to take this laying down. They are a little angry, a little peeved about their personal information getting leaked to the public, which, I mean, to be fair, yeah, I would be too. And a conversation leaked between the executive director, Mike Howell, and one of the members of SeigedSec that is a really funny read. So we're going to do a quick dig into it right here, starting with the perspective of Vio, who is just one of the members of SeigedSec. We want to make a message and shine light on who exactly supports the Heritage Foundation. We don't want anything more than that. Not money and not fame. We're strongly against Project 2025 and everything the Heritage Foundation stands for. To which Mike says, that's why you hacked us? Just for that? And Vio says, yes, it would be obvious that's all we want based on our history as a hacktivist group. We do not seek money. Mike says, okay, listen to me closely. We're in the process of identifying and outing members of your group. Reputations and lives will be destroyed. Closeted furries will be presented to the world as the degenerate perverts they are. You cannot hide. Your means are minuscule compared to mine. You can now either turn yourself in and cooperate. Oh, I read that right. I had to pause for a second. You can turn yourself in or cooperate. There's no... Is that not the same thing? And there was also more of the conversation leaked on Twitter that I think was the funniest part of this entire thing, where Mike Howell says, would you like to meet virtually or send an emissary to meet in person? To which Vio said, I would rather be left alone without my rights being threatened. And Mike said, are you aware that you won't be able to wear a furry tiger costume when you're getting pounded in the ass in federal prison that I put you in next year? And Vio said, such unprofessional language from the executive director. Would you mind if I shared this? And he said, please share widely. I hope the world spreads as fast as the STDs you do in your degenerate furry community. Which is like, oh my god, you talk like a goddamn Disney villain. We got like Xbox game chat going on right now with a literal politician versus a furry. This is great. Oh my god, there's more. I found more in the thread. Oh, this is great. None of our members will be identified or outed by your organization built on hatred. The only ones deserving of a destroyed life are those within your organization. You want me to cooperate? With what? Spreading misinformation and hatred? We won't turn against our own people. Mike said, your own people turned against nature. We will only accelerate the cycle. Wait, is that a threat? Nature has no defined set of rules, no authority, just like it should be. Humans can do what they want, and yet you choose to support an organization to harm innocent people. Why? How can you justify this to yourself, knowing that you're threatening the rights of lives and lives of other humans' lives? The people you hate could be anyone. Your friend, your mom, your sibling. Which, don't quote me on this, but I think the reason is just to make a lot of money. I love being in political power and enforcing the rights of oil companies and big businesses. But don't quote me on that. That's just a theory. And then he said, God created nature, and nature's laws are vicious. It's why you have to be put on a perverted animal costume to satisfy your sexual deviances. It's why you're forced to hide like a coward. You violated our rights and broke the law. You have no standing to discuss such matters. Holy shit, this guy is an alpha! And Vio says, the rights your org violates will be 10 times worse than any crime I've committed. And you do not follow God if you use religion as a crutch to hate people. Fucking real, by the way. Holy shit. I am a Catholic, just so you know, so I'm speaking from hate here. I hate when people use religion as a weapon, and they should probably burn forever. But regardless, while I hide behind a screen to fight for my rights, you hide behind religion to attack the rights of others. Oh my god, fucking bars! To which Mike responds with, would you like to meet virtually or send an emissary to meet in person? Which we read earlier. I find that funny that his only response to that was, okay, square up then. You want to fight? You want to fight? No, I don't. No, I don't. He's crying. He's crying. But of course, there's more here. It ends with the such unprofessional language, and he says share widely. And then Vio says meow, image of cat. To which he says, bestiality is a weird sin. It shows you've gone a few clicks too far in trying to satiate your deviant appetite. He's so, like, I don't know. What is he trying to do with this? He's trying to get like, oh my god, wait. I am a furry. He's gonna change his ways moving forward. And then Vio said, what's your opinion on 4? My advice is that you get out of mommy's basement. Hey. Oh, man. And iron your shirt. Buy a girl a drink and ask her out instead of Googling new deviances for you to fixate on. Said, BRB, I'm writing a post about you. Would you like me to immediately post your docs publicly or tease it for a little while first? Whatever you prefer. I'm tied up with the FBI issuing a 2702 order on your social media. You aren't that sneaky for your line of work. Screenshot of our Bitcoin wallets transactions. No way. Did he post it? No way. Did he pay the FBI in Bitcoin to find these guys? That's hilarious. However, SeigedSec has come forward since then and said that this is their last hacktivist move. They want to kind of move away from all of this. There was some actually in the article talking about the screenshots, talking about how they will remain hackers and always fighting for the rights of others, but they want to kind of move away from the life of crime that they've stuck to for so long. There was even a post on SeigedSec's site, I believe. It was this post. I don't know where this is, but it seems like it's related to where they normally post a lot of their updates, talking about how they attacked 2025 and how this is going to be their last big move. And I think that that's great. I think that this was a good final move because they didn't really even do anything that harmful. The doxing thing was a little harmful, arguably, but just releasing who is associated with a project that not enough people are being informed about, despite it being effective to almost the entire country, is arguably a pretty good thing to do because transparency is probably good. I mean, even people who like somehow out there support 2025, wouldn't you want transparency? Wouldn't you want to know what's going on? Overall, it is an insane situation that I'm very glad I was able to kind of follow as like a trilogy. The Gay Furry Hacker trilogy. What a perfect way to clear it up and finish it off. And of course, before we wrap this video up, here's one more picture of everyone associated with 2025 and the Roland Trump's organization. Feel free to screenshot it, take it, and know to spread to your friends. Let them know that this is going to be an interesting next year. I appreciate you guys being here. Subscribe if you're new and like the video if you liked it. If you're a fan of Project 2025, feel free to dislike the video. I appreciate the support regardless. Thank you for being here. Comment your thoughts on all this because this is genuinely insane. And of course, I will see you in whatever I make next. Thank you for being absolutely outstanding. And as always, adios, arrivederci, goodbye, good night, and stay informed.